Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is the moment of truth for AMC. Today we get AMC earnings. Now, AMC stock's up 4.5%. I'm going to go over my expectations, what I think is going to happen, how I'm positioned for AMC earnings ahead of time, and kind of what my thinking is and what my plan is. I hope you guys are ready for this one. This could be a defining moment for AMC, and it will be a defining moment for AMC over the next couple of months. Whatever we get this earnings is really going to dictate how AMC stock trades for a while here. So I want to get started with the last post that Adam Aron made on his X account. He says AMC will announce Q4 and full year 2023 earnings February 28th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I realize many of you have wanted my take as to what is going on, but the best time to do so is on this year's ending earnings call. Listen to the webcast. I'll have much to say. You've had some large individuals like Pulte, that is a part of the Pulte group. 3.1 million followers on X. He says, sounds good. Now, I can only imagine Adam Aron's talked to quite a few people since then. Pulte is probably one of them, in which, guys, it's simple. It's kind of like a fourth grade math equation, okay? AMC has $3 billion of debt coming due in 2026. How can AMC pay that debt off? Well, I'm sure they can refinance. I'm sure they can do other things. But if they have $3 billion of notional debt that comes due right now, even if they refinance in a generous scenario by 2026, call it $1.5 billion that has to get paid by 2026. And that's generous. Might be 2.5, or even the full $3 billion. And that comes due in 2026. Do you think AMC will have enough free cash flow generation to pay $3 billion of debt by 2026? If you don't know, I'll tell you the answer is no. That's never going to happen. There is a moonshot chance of that actually happening. AMC would have to, there's higher odds of AMC getting bought out, or higher odds of, many other statistical anomalies happening. An asteroid hits Earth that was 7 miles wide. Like, those are pretty much your odds of AMC having $3 billion of free cash flow to pay off its debt by 2026. 2026 is coming right around the corner. With that being said, the other way AMC can pay off their debt is to issue capital, to sell stock onto the markets. Now, the way that essentially you sell stock is your stock gets sold onto the markets, but usually at a discount. So let's say AMC is trading at $5 right now, heading into AMC earnings. Then you may, if you wanted to sell stock, you may end up actually selling your stock at $4.70 or so, because the stock usually gets, sold off, and that's just how those things tend to go. So if AMC does not get its stock up, AMC will not be able to pay off that chunk of debt coming due by 2026, especially considering the next couple of quarters look like they could be rough for the movie theater industry, as we just don't have that many films going to theaters. So you have that on your hands as well. AMC is going to be burning through some more cash here after being profitable for the last 2 or 3 quarters in a row. The profitability streak is likely over. Now, what sends AMC stock higher at this point? If there is a fair degree of confidence out there, the AMC may just default in 2026, then what gets AMC stock to go higher? Well, I'll tell you, in the near term, if AMC gives us a commitment not to dilute shareholders anymore, that will send AMC stock higher, especially in this market environment where everything's doing very well. If you basically tell markets, guys, we're not gonna sell any more stock of AMC for 6 months for 2024, that would be great news. If Adam Aron said, yeah, we're just done selling stock for all of 2024, hell yeah. Hell yeah, you are in there, okay? In there like swimwear. It is Jimmy Neutron. We're about to blast off, baby. That's essentially what would happen. Okay, AMC stock would do very well. Even like a 3-month commitment would be decent. 6-month commitment is probably more logical. That's what I think is going to happen. There's nothing AMC can do at this point that will get the stock to go higher. That's because the markets know dilution's coming. There's a huge debt block that comes due in 2026. If you don't dilute shareholders aggressively at low prices or wait for the stock to go higher and dilute shareholders, then I mean, that's just why not short AMC? Hell, if we don't get a commitment not to dilute shareholders, you should short AMC. That would be the easiest short of my entire life. Until we get that commitment not to dilute shareholders, AMC is an easy short. And that's why AMC stock has continued to fall. Adam Aron, who knows? I'll have much to say, is what he said. Who knows exactly what that means? We have no clue what that means. He's making I guess ominous. I don't like to say ominous because that sounds bad, but kind of a foreshadowing that we may get some good news. With that being said, investors are bullish heading into AMC earnings. The option chain suggests that investors are bullish heading into AMC earnings. And again, none of the fundamental numbers here are going to be exciting. Could they be a little bit better than feared? Of course. But I mean, again, back to the logic. Why would you cover on your short position if you know there's a huge debt block coming due? The company will never in a moonshot and a half be able to generate enough free cash flow to pay off that debt. You know you're going to get dilution from now until 2026. Why not just short the stock? It's simple as that. Who cares what that last quarter was or the next quarter is going to be? Unless AMC says they're going to be generating hundreds of millions of dollars in free cash flow sometime soon, there's really no rush to cover on any kind of short position in AMC. But if you know there's not going to be dilution for, let's say, 6 months, well, you probably should cover on your AMC position. Now, the ending of this article says it's possible that market participants who expect optimistic results for Q4 could be the catalyst for this reversal. Remarks from AMC's CEO Adam Aron could also influence a reversal in AMC's downward trajectory. He has hinted that he will provide some clarity on the company's recent share price performance during the earnings call. And I think that's important to acknowledge as well. I think AMC stock is not going to move at all until the earnings call. I think AMC could pop, it could drop a little bit, but nothing's going to happen until the earnings call, until we get some kind of new information from Adam Aron. And if on the earnings call or after the earnings call, we don't get any new information, we don't get a commitment not to dilute shareholders, AMC stock's probably just going to fall, right? Anything besides a commitment not to dilute shareholders, the stock's going to fall. Okay, that's just the bottom line to it. Now, if we take a look at sentiment today, sentiment is bullish at 71. Yesterday, it was neutral at 47, so that's good news. Message volume is extremely high heading into earnings today at 76. And yesterday, it was normal. And the participation ratio is at 55, which is on the high side, better than where it has been recently. I watched Dumb Money last night, and that just kind of gets you in the mood for AMC earnings. So we'll see. AMC's market cap is only $1.27 billion. It's really trading more so on a fundamental basis right now, and really taking into account the potential dilution that we could get down the line. Now, let's get into a rundown of the data and what's going on today before we go ahead and wrap up this video. So volume expiring by this Friday. 80.77% calls, 19.23% puts. So 5 times the calls than you're seeing puts. So definitely some bullish activity there. From hedge funds and institutions, this is actually pretty surprising as well. You have seen 4 orders today totaling $162,500 with a positive order value of 100%. So it looks like hedge funds and institutions pretty dang bullish heading into AMC earnings, at least today. So that looks pretty good as well. You do have a short interest percentage of free float, 12.05%, $145.18 million worth of short positions, days to cover 1.84, 30.18 million shares that are currently sold short, shares out on loan 34.59 million, cost to borrow 1.03%, utilization of 52.91%, and a short score of 64.66 out of 100. So decent numbers there as well. Then you have to consider the potential for a gamma squeeze like event. We do have about 32,000 calls currently in the money, 54,000 calls out the money, 2,000 puts in the money, and 30,000 puts out the money. Let me tell you right now, if AMC does indeed go higher after earnings, I think you're going to see a lot of FOMO activity, a lot of investors, going into AMC call positions. Now, just everything else not considered AMC, you are going to have PCE data that comes out tomorrow, and I'm expecting a big move in the markets. That could influence what happens with AMC to a certain extent. But again, it's really the question of, do we get a commitment not to dilute shareholders or do we not? If we don't, the stock's going to fall. If we do, the stock could rally 50+% coming tomorrow. And I don't think that would necessarily be derailed by a bad, PCE report. I'm sure it wouldn't help necessarily. But, if AMC falls after earnings because we don't get any new information, which is probably the most likely scenario, and you get bad PCE tomorrow, it could definitely, sell off markets a little bit more. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the trade that I have on AMC for AMC earnings. I've showed this trade before, and I'll show it again. It is a AMC 550 call. Currently $43 a piece, up 115%, up $230. I bought these for $20 a piece, about 10 of them, so that was $200. So up a decent amount, 115%. There's definitely a lot of activity around the 550 calls as well. Now, these expire not this Friday, but next Friday after that. So obviously I should have went in a little bit larger with this position. It would make this next decision a little bit easier. But I'm not sure if I'm going to ride the whole position, all $430 of this position into earnings, or if I will sell, 3 or 4 contracts and get my money back. Who knows? I'll wait and see. But at the bare minimum, I'm riding into AMC earnings with most of this position regardless, because I do think AMC likely rallies after earnings, but there is always that chance that I'm wrong. I've been wrong many, many times. And the premiums are definitely juiced right now, at least on the shorter term contracts. I think you get a much better deal if you go out a little bit. You incorporate like a June expiration. If we really get a run in AMC, like a $10 call for $42 could pay out pretty large, especially if you do get that big run, or even go into like the $5 call for June 21st. That's $126, 25% to break even. I think AMC could rally 50% tomorrow, if I'm correct, if we do get that commitment not to dilute shareholders. So I do think there is a pretty good opportunity here still in the options market, but you want to be really careful on those short-term options. These short-term options are juiced. Expiring by Friday, you have 650 calls going for $20. I bought the 550s for 20, and I got an extra week of time. So yeah, definitely not too many deals you're gonna find on these short-term options. So just be a little bit careful there. We'll see nonetheless. Markets are slightly in the red overall today. You can see the NASDAQ is down about 0.21%, S&P down 0.03%, and the Dow is down about 0.2% as well. VIX is up a little bit here on the day today. So let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.